My first car smelled like Moss Man. It may sound like a Ralph Wiggum thing to say, but it's 100% true. It was a Pontiac T1000. I bought it for $200, and it stunk like Moss Man. If you're not familiar with Moss Man, he was a action figure put out in the He-Man line during the mid-'80s, maybe? Yeah, probably early to mid-'80s. And all their figures, well, not all their figures, but certain figures did certain things. They had battle damage He-Man, and they had other ones that squirted water. And well, Moss Man smelled. That was his thing. Pretty awesome power, huh? Yeah, I stink. But I actually like the smell of him, oddly enough. He had a weird kind of earthy, planty smell to him, but it was kind of nice. I liked it as a kid. I wish they bottled it now. I'd buy it. Maybe I'll market that. Moss Man by Fabergé. So I got 3 things. Well, I got 5, 6 things written down, but there's 3 I'd really like to get to tonight. So let's dive headlong into it. I'm going to tackle the first one now while I just started my drink. Now, I'm going to go with an easy one for now. Because this last one is going to go a little deep into my opinions on the matter. Let me also say this. I will give credit where credit is due. If you know, a while back I was listening to a lot of conservative radio, just trying to, understand the other side, see the other side, find ways to talk with people and on more middle ground or some compromise. But like I said in the past, I didn't find anything even intelligent to listen to. It was all opinionated and hate spewing towards Obama and Obamacare, and come on. Everything is fact-checkable. Like, people, I hope, are wising up to this, too, and not just listening to typical... And I'm not just talking about Fox, I'm talking about MSNBC, I'm talking about everything. If there's something that you agree or disagree strongly with, I feel like you should take action and work towards, like, not only just, forming your opinion, but, giving it a run for its money, digging into both sides and figuring out what the facts are. And tonight, on my way, I had to get milk on my way home. So I stopped, but I was just flipping through the channels. I just finished, which I'll probably do a video review of, the second to last R.A. Salvatore book. The Driz series. For the lay person. And I came across one of the conservative radio stations, one of the many in Lynchburg. And I listened to it for, all the way to the gas station, all the way home. And it was good news telling. Like, there was no... I've heard a lot of their radio DJs and personalities and actors, or newscasters, as they like to call themselves. Basically, be very opinionated, and whoever was on tonight, I wish I got his name on the radio. He just told the news. He didn't try to put a spin on it or twist it to be more in favor of the Conservative Party. He just told the news, and it was awesome. And I was like, it's the first time since probably January, I think, I started listening to more and more conservative radio, just to see, see what they're all about. And so this is the first time since January of listening on and off to conservative radio that I found a guy that just went on and told the news. And I was just like, that's exactly what I want. I just want to know what's going on in the world. Like, he didn't put any opinion into it. It was phenomenal. So he was probably on like 8 to 9 on 105.7, 105.9. I don't know. I just flip through. I don't even look at the stations. I just doot, 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 and whatever. If something grabs me, I just leave it on. Okay. So that's enough praise for the, yeah, whatever. I was trying to come up with something witty, but it didn't quite work out the way I hoped. I heard now this morning I heard Sam Sorbo talking about the war on women. I'll show you war on women. Go to the Middle East. Now, here's an interesting thing. I don't want to talk about this, but I'm just going to touch on it briefly. I don't think there's necessarily a specific war on women. I really don't. Like, there might be a few individuals in Congress or the Senate, the House, that are. But I'm not saying that there's a majority, like, who are planning. Like, I think that's blown out of proportion. Now, I do think that the reason why the subject comes up is under attack, and usually based on religious reasoning. And I think that that's where you go wrong. Like, this is government, this is the U.S. government, the majority approves those who are elected, but I just don't think in a case like that, religion has any place in politics. I don't. So, nonetheless, I'm not going to go on to that tonight, because there wasn't a lot to say about it, because I think it's a stupid thing. But I want to tell you about the time, let's see, how old was I? I was 18. It was my first summer out of high school. I had gone through your young breakup thing, or whatever it was. And I remember I was like, just a foul mood that day, obviously. When you're, not a little kid, but, if things go south for you, you are emotionally hurt. So I just wanted to stay home and write in black ink on black paper under a black light with black clothes on or something. You know what I mean? You know what you go through, those silly little things when you're younger. But my friends, being good friends up there, were Jim Bassett, Mike Bassett, Corey Smith, Justin Bonifant, Andy Mitten, I believe, was there, and I think Bill Bassett as well. They're like, no, come on, you're gonna be working pretty soon. I've been applying for jobs left and right, and they're like, come on, have a good night. And so my mother made me go. My mother was just like, you're going. Pretty soon you'll be working, and you'll wish you had gone. And I was like, all right, I'll go. And I was having a pretty good time. I was still kind of moping around or whatever. And we went back to the Bassett's house, and we were just hanging out. And I remember, it was either Mike or Jim. I think it was Jim, or someone said, remember we used to go to the basketball court and play basketball at night? I knew where this was going. I did not want to go play basketball at night. So everyone wanted to, though. So I said I'd go along, but I wasn't playing. So we went to go get in the truck. I think Bill's truck at the time, and there were two bikes in the back. And so Mike Bassett said, you want to just go for a ride or something like that? I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, we'll meet him down there or whatever. So we pedaled down there, and they were all playing, and we were just at the school, or not, we weren't at that school. Mike said, for whatever reason, they said, we're going to start a new game in 10 minutes or something. He's like, you want to see where I used to go to school? So, sure, why not? That's always fun. I like showing people where I went to school. And so we get to the school, we get off the bikes, and we kind of put them near the bushes or whatever like that. And then he's like, when my mother used to have meetings with the teachers and stuff, I used to come out here and I'd climb up the side of the building and we'd go hang out on the roof. And I was just like, really? He's like, yeah, I wonder if I can still do it. So, he's in pretty good shape. So, yeah, he just shimmies right up this downspout or something like that, using windows and whatever. And I'm like, ooh, I want to do that too. So I did it. And I got up there and got on the roof. We were just hanging out, and it was just cool because the back end of the school was about 3 stories down. And so we'd go right to the edge and just look over. Now, I couldn't do that. I'd have a heart attack. It sucks. I hate it. I never was afraid of heights growing up. I'll tell you a story about why I'm afraid of heights another time. So we were hanging out up there, and then we heard a car pull in the front. We're like, shit, somebody's going to steal the bikes. So we run over to the front, and we look down, and uh-oh, it's the cops. And we're like, what do we do? And so we backed up real quietly, and he's just like, if we just stay up here, they'll probably just take the bikes. And my mother's friends with the police chief in Berkeley. So we just sat up there quietly. Then another car shows up, and then a truck shows up. And it wasn't Bill's truck or whatever. And we're thinking, shit, this is not good. Suddenly, the hatch to the roof opens up. And the cop pokes his head out, and he's like, hey, what are you kids doing here? Get over here. He's like, what are you doing here? I was just like, we're just hanging out and talking. He's like, yeah, now you're just under arrest. What a jerk. Apparently they had to call the janitor to come down to unlock the school, to let them in so they could get up to the roof and check. Now, first of all, this sucks. I didn't want to leave the house in the first place, and to this day I still blame my mother for this. Otherwise, if I just stayed home and moped, wouldn't have got arrested that night. Remember that, kids. Listen to your parents. Or don't. Apparently I shouldn't have. So yeah, we go down to the Berkeley it's literally a trailer. Their police station. And they booked us. It took our fingerprints and our... No, they did take my fingerprints. I don't think they took our pictures there, though. I had to get transferred back to Taunton because I lived in Taunton. I don't know why. This is stupid. So they said they'd meet me down there so they could bail me out. It's so ridiculous. It's like, well, in the ride over to Taunton, they said, what else were you guys doing up there? I said, honestly, we were just climbing up there. I told them the whole story, I think, actually. I said, I didn't want to go out tonight. My mother made me go stay at the house. They wanted to go play basketball. I didn't want to play basketball. My friend Mike wanted to take me for a ride. I told him the whole story. Like, obviously, this is not a made-up story. Apparently, people were breaking antennas off, or rods, some kind of lightning rods or something, off of the roof and throwing them through the greenhouse. Well, we didn't know that. Like, we weren't doing that. We just literally just wanted to climb up the side of a building and hang out. And that's all we wanted to do. But I guess opening the doors, or trying to open the doors, set off the motion alarm. And normally I think cops would just drive by, make sure there's no one out there. They probably saw the bikes and then immediately knew something was going on. So that's my detective work for the night. Anywho, they're like, that's fine. And they told me their story, why they had been sort of. And they're like, you should be able to just go in, they'll process you, and you can just get the money, and you'll be able to go home. I was like, all right, thanks a lot. They were really nice guys. Even the guys that got us off the roof were relatively nice, because they could have been really rude. I do remember one of the guys took my hat off. I was cuffed over the hood of the car, and he's obviously patting me down. I had a freaking pocket knife on me, and that young, I never used to carry a pocket knife on me, but it was nothing. It was just like a little thing. I don't even think he... no, he didn't. No, he must have come. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. Maybe it was Mike that had the pocket knife. I can't remember. It's a long time ago. 18? That's, 19? 21 years ago? That's hard to say. So I got transferred to Taunton. Well, come to find out, the bail warden had gone home. This is a Friday night. Oh, dear God. Thankfully, on a rare occasion, he was coming back the next day to do something. Unfortunately, that meant I was screwed. So I called my cousin Ron, and he came down to bring money, because I didn't want them to have to pay for my bail. And I saw them, and I waved to them. But then the cop came in and was just like, yeah, he's gone home. There's nothing we can do. They said he is coming back in the morning. He normally doesn't. But when he gets here, we'll take care of it. So I think it was like $25. It's just so ridiculous. If they just let me go. Anywho, now I have no shoelaces on because they're afraid I'm going to hang myself because I am a risk. I'm an 18-year-old kid who got arrested for trespassing. I remember at the time thinking, holy shit, this is the end of my life. I have a record now. And it's not on my record, actually. The guy at Berkeley took care of it for me, so... Or he was supposed to. He didn't. He did end up, I think, going back and fixing it, though. And so starts my night, overnight, in a 8 by 5 foot cell, maybe. No, I mean, everything's open, so if you get a pee or poop, someone's watching you do that. I refused to, well, I didn't refuse, I decided not to get a pillow because I didn't think I was staying. I thought I was getting out. They said he might be back tonight or something like that. So I kept thinking, all right, well, I'll just sit here and I'll wait. Shouldn't take too long. And then, 15 minutes turned into an hour turned into 2. That's when I finally tried to grab someone's attention. I just be like, hey, is he coming back tonight? And they're like, we have no idea. They're like, we'll see if we'll leave him a message or something. I'm sure they called him. And he didn't come. So finally I got a blanket. because it was freaking freezing in there. It sucked. It sucked so bad. I couldn't sleep. My stomach was killing me because I was like, oh my god, my mother's going to kill me, even though it's her fault. And then in the morning, it was really early. It was like, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something like that. He came in, and the Bassetts were there to pick me up because we were going to go eat. And I had no money on me at the time. I didn't, because I had my wallet, but I had to get all that stuff back. So we went to Bringham's at the mall. What was that? The old Taunton Mall. Massachusetts Taunton Mall. What was the name of that? Was there a name to that? Oh, no. What was the name of the restaurant in there? Bingo's? Benji's? Began with a B. Didn't it begin? I think it began with a B. I don't know. So we went out to eat. And that was it. That was the end. And then, like, my trial came up, whatever it is, and it was such a joke. Like, I had to wait there for hours. I got my hair cut. My hair was so long in high school, and I thought, I better look good for court. If I had looked around to see the other people in court and how they were dressed, I never would have cut my hair. I would have put it back in a ponytail, just dressed nicely. That's what I would have done. So that's my story. Obviously, I think it was 6 months probation. Is that the right term? No, not probation. If you stay out of trouble for 6 months, they'll wipe it off your record or whatever. Jeez. Ain't I popular? So, let's call it for this one. At 16 minutes and 50 some odd seconds. We're going to move right along to another pleasant story. I'm in a mood for telling pleasant stories. I hope that made you laugh, because it is funny in hindsight. It was just horrible night. Horrible, horrible night. If you can avoid getting arrested, you should do that. All right? If you come back, I'll love to see you. If you don't make it back, don't forget to make somebody smile. And let's make the world spin a little happier together. I'll see you in a few.